Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Cohn phone. I'm here for the next hour. No more than that. I'll do another one tomorrow. I'm going to take as many of your calls as I can, and I'm not going to say much. This is the day for you to sound off and tell the organization exactly how you feel. All I ask is that you limit your answers, your calls to 3 minutes. It's actually longer than you think. You got 1.3 minutes. Make it count. All right, don't be hemming and hawing and telling you say you got 8 things to talk about. One thing, 3 minutes. Make it count. This is a big one, all right? Let's do this. And we got Korean. Dude, it's been a minute. Korean 49er. How are you? I feel like I haven't seen you in a year.
I took a little break. I'm doing good, Grant, for the off season. So
good to see you, man.
Nice seeing you too.
All right.
My main point is, who has been responsible for the worst 3 trades in 49ers history? Player trades. This regime.
Oh boy. Listen.
Remember, they went to get Kinlaw. You know, they traded Buckner and got Kinlaw. And they traded up to get Trey and then traded Trey away.
Yeah.
Me, those are assets that could have been for better players or something like that to keep the team strong in certain positions.
So again, what were the trades that were the worst ones of all time? Kinlaw, Lance,
Buckner for Kinlaw.
Yeah.
And trading up for Trey.
Mm-hmm.
And then now trading Trey for a 4th. Not, who knows what's going to happen there. But you told us that you need a starting quarterback to develop to a superstar. And, you take a project that's going to be, only played 1 year of FCS college football. I mean,
yeah.
You never know how any of these quarterbacks will ever pan out. It's not like you got Joe Burrow or someone like that but that always goes back to that point of never scouting Mahomes and Watson at the time. So that's
yesterday, did you hear Kyle? He was like trying to go back through what he did and like what he felt was okay. And he was like, well, I wasn't going to throw him in the fire right away. Well, maybe you should have. Maybe you should have, man. I mean, that's what the Colts are doing with Anthony Richardson. Like, he hadn't played in a year because of COVID. I don't think that sitting him on the bench for a year was smart. And I don't think that the Niners have still understood that.
Agreed. I agree with that. I mean, if you played Jimmy that 1 year when you traded up to get Trey, okay, that's fine. But then you have to play Trey because you just know that clock is ticking on his rookie deal. So,
yeah.
Yep. So, all right. Thank you, Grant. That was my point.
All right, man. Thanks so much. Good to see you.
And I've seen you too.
All right. Take care. Next, we got Hadiz. It's been a minute. Hadiz, how are you?
Not bad. How are you doing, Grant?
I'm all right. What's up? Right. What's up with you?
Real quickly, I've noticed this kind of string ever since last Sunday of how the Niners are such a talented roster, but they have so many whiffs at the first round pick. Real quickly, I'm just going to go off on some of these picks, and you tell me if they're a solid player, bust, or they're a hit. So, from 2017, Solomon Thomas.
Bust.
2017, Reuben Foster.
Bust.
2018, Mike McGlinchey.
Man, I can't call him solid, but that was a bad pick at number 9. I know he got a second contract. He's on but the Niners didn't give him a second contract. He's gone, and there were way better players available. That was a bad pick. But at least he's still in the league. At least he's still playing. Yeah. True.
All right. From 2018, we go to 2019. We got Nick.
Could have had Derwin James. Could have had Minkah Fitzpatrick. Like, that was a bad pick, but okay.
So many good players, but we had to improve the line. So let's talk 2019 Nick Bosa. I think we can agree hit. 2020.
Although they haven't given him his second contract yet, have they?
It's getting real last second now. 2020 Javon Kinlaw. If you don't need it, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk.
I mean, it is what it is. Everyone knows. Okay. I don't got to say it. It is what
I'm going to just say it. I think
it ain't working out. Even last night didn't look so good, right?
Right. So let's go pick 25, Brandon Ayuk. I think he's solid right now, but he has potential to boom this season, right?
Oh, excellent player, but sort of miscast in this system with these quarterbacks. And again, is he going to get a second contract with this team? I don't know.
We have no idea. And then the final first pick, Trey Lance. Let's just say unknown for right now.
I mean, it didn't work out for the Niners.
No, it really didn't. But
It was just a dead loss for the Niners.
But imagine if some of these players, let's just say half of these players were hits. This roster would be absolutely loaded. But they just miss on too many first-round picks, and I don't trust John Lynch and Kyle to make that right decision, even this year with their first-round pick.
Until they extend Bosa, not one of their first-round picks has gotten a second contract from the Niners. Usually that's an unsustainable roster. They're getting bailed out by these late picks. Once again, they got Jalen Graham looks good, Brandon Willis looks good, Ronnie Bell looks good, Brock Purdy,
The
great.
only player, by the way, that's got their second-year contract was Eric Armstead, by the way.
And they didn't draft him.
And they didn't even
they drafted him, but this regime didn't draft him. Yeah.
But yeah.
They inherited him. Let's say that.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm up on my time, but it was good.
You did great. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Bye.
All right. SF Bay drummer, are you driving? Or are you in the passenger seat? I feel like you need to pull. Are you driving?
Nah, I'm not.
You driving?
I'm a passenger.
All right. What's up, man? What's going on?
Nah, man. I was at sound check yesterday. I was at a gig. I saw Trey Lance got traded to the Cowboys. I said, "What? Oh my God! Here we go again with the 49ers organization spitting in the face of black fans that they have." I mean, it's making it real hard for me to continue my fandom, man. Like first Cap, now Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I mean, the quarterback is very blank, but hopefully everything turns out. But if it's not good enough, man, I really hope my Christmas wish after Lamar Jackson runs us up and down the field is that Jed York and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch agree to mutually part ways. Because, I mean, that's where I think it's really about to go. I don't believe in any of the quarterbacks that we have, and I don't even think we're going to be successful. And I don't even think Brandon Ayuk is going to stay here, especially if Trey Lance gets a job in Dallas.
Yeah.
I can see him going there.
That's a good
point. That's all I got. Thanks for your
That's a really good point. Yeah, it feels like a lot like when the Niners got rid of Colin Kaepernick. It seems like Kyle Shanahan, he's willing to formulate an offense around a dual threat quarterback if he's a starter, if he's RG3, if he's Trey Lance last year. But the minute he's the backup, Kyle's like, I'm not going to install the zone read for you. Like, you're not the starter. So I think he got written off right there, which isn't fair. Because what happened is, and John Lynch said it, like they made him compete sort of on Brock Purdy's terms. Like, you don't get the Trey Lance offense. You just got to do the dink and dunk offense. And I was there. He was better than Darnold in that offense. And if you actually played Trey, you might want to play to his strengths, which John Lynch said they didn't this year. And he still was better than Darnold. But the Niners, I mean, Kyle had his mind made up. It's so obvious. He had his mind made up. He said it was clear. Only to you. Only to you. Sorry, man. All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good call. Good to see you. He's done. Enough. Real quick. Sean, Kinlaw, D Ford. D Ford. Good God. Yeah. Mark Salah's new member. Thank you. Quana, it occurred to me that maybe for Bosa, it isn't just about the money. Maybe it's also about the length of the contract. Perhaps he wants fewer years. Possible. Slick Niner says, 4th round to Bengals for Lyle Collins to play right tackle. I'd take it. Sachin.
What's up, Grant? How's it going?
Good to see you, man. How you been?
I've been good. I just frustrated with, everything that's taken place.
Sure.
The first thing is I wasn't able to catch your live stream until I was out last night, missed the game, watched part of your post game like 4 a.m. I fell asleep 10 minutes into it, caught the rest up. But all I was thinking about last night was I'm expecting disappointment this season and expecting once the Trey Lance news happened and after your the video you posted about Bosa, he might not sign by week 1. I literally went through a wager on the Steelers week 1 and threw a wager on the Seahawks to win the division because I just I'd be glad to lose that money, but I feel like that's great value on those teams. Steelers to beat us week 1, Seahawks to win the division because I just don't have faith in this team. The only thing that's giving me hope is McCaffrey because of how good they were with him. But if he goes down at any point, which there is,
I mean, look, I like Jordan Mason, but the dude fumbled yesterday. He fumbled a bunch of times in camp. He's a good player, but he refuses to go down and he fumbles. Like scary. Yeah. Ugh. So yeah, I mean, we're in this position again. We're like, what happens if McCaffrey goes down? God forbid. And what we talk about the Niners and their quarterback injuries. Actually, their running back injuries have been an even bigger problem the last since Jerick McKinnon went down. Frankly.
Yeah. When's the last time we had a consistent running back? 2019, right? Because
I mean, 2019, yeah, but Mostert was the backup that year, if you remember.
Oh,
they
yeah,
never made him the starter. Tevin Coleman was a starter. It was supposed to be Jerick McKinnon. Then they come back with Mostert as a starter the next year, gets hurt. Then he comes back, then the starter next year gets hurt week 1. It's like,
it's honestly
they like Jacquez Patrick and stuff playing games for them.
It's a miracle that McCaffrey got through the whole year last year. Like when he came like week 7.
Considering how much they used him. It's true, man. It's true.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. Hopefully, McCaffrey, everything's on your shoulders, honestly.
Stay healthy, baby.
Just take us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, man. Good to see you.
Grant, have a good one.
All right, Alex, your face is hella close to the, but I'm going to take you. All right, let's do this. What's up, Alex? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Grant. How are you?
I'm good.
So I, since I just have a few minutes, first off, your post-game show last night, you absolutely killed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I really appreciated the farewell story was, man, that just hit.
I wanted to save that for when he was off the team, but I felt like it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great, and I just like I don't know. I know that this team has a lot of aspirations, but I was telling Jesse on his show a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I think this is going to be a 9-8 season for the 49ers. And for a couple of reasons is I think that the actions by the 49ers with Trey Lance, I think is really going to create a divide within the locker room. It's clear that several players obviously wanted him here. And I don't know if you caught Juszczyk's message yesterday that he said something really, really key that goes all the way back to when Trey Lance was drafted, that at least Trey is going to a team that wants him now. And that to me is like, that's just such a huge red flag to like the character of the team and to really, obviously there was back to 49er football. There was George Kittle after Trey Lance got injured and Jimmy G ran in the touchdown, said we already have a running quarterback. And there was also, obviously there was the leak to Mike Silver, right after he was traded. I don't think the finger thing is real because after the finger injury, Trey Lance still threw the first touchdown of the 49er season. Yeah. He was brought in on that half.
It's an excuse.
Yeah. And he was brought in on that half, the second half versus Seattle, where Trey Lance threw a touchdown. Or no, I think he ran in a touchdown. He threw a touchdown, and he threw a 2-point conversion, if I remember. And that was all in the second half against Seattle. And, I'm just like, to anybody that's sitting here saying that the quarter against the Broncos didn't matter, like, I just got to say to all you people, like, open up your eyes and look at the throws that Trey was making. To go 8 of 10 and 142 yards and a touchdown, like, within, and it was in the final 3 minutes of the quarter.
He was the only quarterback on the roster who could do that. And you gave him up for no reason. He's 23 years old.
No, this is going to haunt the 49ers for for a long time.
And I think you can see it in Kyle's face. Like, Trey essentially chose to be third string quarterback on a day. What's up, dude? How you doing, man? Yo, what do you think? What do you think?
I think that this is going to be like
9-8, 10. I'm asking the kid. 10-7, 11-6. What are we talking?
What do you think? This is
the wholesome content people come here for. Absolutely, right there, baby. Man, that's a smart baby you got, man.
Yeah, exactly. And then
don't put yourself on the record until you're ready.
Yeah, and the last thing, I am on the record saying that this is going to go down like the Bucks trading Steve Young to the 49ers. This is going to be a massive regret. And then the other thing is Dallas
Alex, you got to go. You're up against 3 minutes. And you got to be a dad. Good to see you, man. Have a good one, man. Later. Sorry, I gotta be brutal today. I'll never forget how the Niners reacted when Jimmy came in after Trey broke his leg. There's a lot of karma coming. A lot of karma coming. Say Lob, what's up? You're muted. Just press the little, there you go.
All right. So I've been watching Niners football for a long time, but this year I kind of focused on the media side.
You're 19.
Yeah. I'm 20, yeah. But
okay, all right.
For a while, yeah. But
Yeah.
this side I focused on the media side, seeing through rookie minicamp to OTAs and all that. And I gotta say that you're one of the very few reporters that kind of doesn't show his bias out there. Kind of just tells it how he sees it. Because
I try, man. I try.
This quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
And then how, like, a lot of people just want to like make Kyle Shanahan and the Niners happy, right? They just want to say the right thing. But
Kinda.
I feel like after this week, things have kind of changed. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of guys like Matt Mayoka and Jack Hamler kind of go against the norm. So I want to see, like, what do you think about this? Do you think this is going to make a big change with Kyle's relationship with the media and just overall the team in general for him?
Yeah, I feel like the media and the fans feel lied to. Like, it's not just that the Niners made a mistake or they had a bad draft pick. Like, teams do that. But you didn't explain it. You lied. Like, we asked you the question. You fumfered and didn't say the answer. Then you went on the radio. Like, Trey feels lied to. The fans feel lied to. The media feels lied to. It's like, yeah, man, I think it's a bad moment for Kyle because I feel like the media, the local media, the national media, and the fans have been really patient with him. And I know he can say, well, he's been to NFC Championship games. Yeah, well, so was Harbaugh. Harbaugh got ran out of here. The media was not patient with him. I mean, I feel like he's gotten a lot of grace, and he rewarded all these people patience with, just lying in their faces. Yeah. So it's gonna be hard to forget that. And he's going to have to deliver now. Otherwise, I think people are going to start seeing it the way I've seen it. Like, man, he's taken this team as far as he can. That's how I see Kyle. He's taken this team as far as he can take it. He gets credit for taking it this far. But now he needs to pass the baton. That's how I feel.
Yeah. So do you think that Kyle and John have a shorter leash now? Because, who do you think the Trey Lance pick was? Was it Kyle's pick or was it John's pick?
Sounded like it was Kyle's. He said, I brought Trey here. He took much more responsibility for it than John. John was like, Kyle was like, man, I feel responsible.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then shorter leash on on Kyle then?
Yeah, maybe he's not allowed to pick players anymore. Maybe it's like, hey, to me, it's like, hey, Brock Purdy's your quarterback. You called him the real deal. No more of these like aggressive trades for this guy or that guy. You got Brock. Make it work. And if it doesn't work with Brock, that might be it, buddy.
Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Good call.
So one quick thing.
What's up? You got one more thing?
Yeah, one more thing. What are the chances that you get Trey Lance on an interview in the future?
That's a good question. I don't know. I hope if he wants to tell a story with the Niners, he comes to my channel. But I have a feeling.
I'd love to see that.
Why would he do that? He's with the Cowboys. Yeah. He probably wants to put that aside. I think that'd be something he does if he becomes a starting quarterback one day and he's successful. I still feel like he kind of needs to keep his head down.
On top of it all, I think.
It would be cool, though. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Later. I said 19, he was 20. I eyeballed that. I could work at a freaking county fair. Pissed off, Brother Bob says, Iggy, 3 × 1 + 3 = 4. What the heck? And how do we have no kicker? I don't want to do math. Don't make me do math. Pav and Nate, thank you. Jacob, what's up? You're muted and you're frozen. So we'll come back to you. Karan is giggling, so he's on the show. What's up, man?
Howard, I'm just listening to the kid's I've been a Niner fan longer than the kid's been alive, so I'm just laughing at that.
I was like, dog, you're 19. He's like, no, I'm 20. Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry.
So so as a fan, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Part of that, this is gone because I think, why aren't we talking about the subpar offensive line? Why are we not talking about the defensive line outside of Nick Bosa that can't stop the run or rush the passer? Why are we talking about the new defensive coordinator?
Can we say something real quick about that? Hold on, let's slow down. Drake Jackson, he tips passes. He intercepts passes sometimes. Does he rush the quarterback? I haven't seen that. Drake Jackson. Do the Niners have a starting edge rusher other than Nick Bosa who's not there? I don't think that they do. I don't think they do.
No, and I think I've seen far more blitzing from corners and safeties this year, and I think that's what they're going to do. But that makes you very vulnerable
Did you see on third
plays,
down? They were rushing like 6. They were rushing like 6 on third down. I was like, "Whoa, you're gonna have good both this year, right?"
D'Amico Ryans and Salah would always just rush 4 and make that
Maybe
quarterback
5.
beat you.
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5.
6?
Maybe 5.
That's aggressive.
Maybe.
You don't have the corners to pull that off. You have Diamador Lenore, Isaiah Oliver, and Javarius Ward. I don't know, man. And your safeties all run like 4.7s. Like, they don't cover a ton of ground.
No, and you saw the second string running back just destroy the secondary yesterday for that long run. There is no person that's going to catch up to that person anymore. And you've got fast players on the Seahawks. You've got fast players on very interesting. I think the defense that we know is not going to be so much. They're going to have to run track meets this year. And is Brock Purdy ready for that? Is the offense ready for that? You know, that's going to be very interesting because
it's like the slowest offense in the league, right? They run a play, walk around, think about it, huddle up. It's like they don't do hurry up offense.
Do you think, and then because I know there's probably 1,000 people,
Yeah.
In my mind, I think Trey, just like in real life, was the person that came in like as a director or something without kind of going through the system, and I think he was given and I think you had a lot of people who were 3rd, 5th round picks that saw themselves work their way up. And there was some sort of resentment there because I looked at George Kittle and it was like almost like he was like, just nothing.
Yeah.
Just absolutely
But I think there's something, the fact that like they were trying to change the offense for Trey. Like they had run the offense a certain way. And then Trey came in and all of a sudden that year in 2021, when he wasn't even the starter, they were installing the zone read and this whole Trey Lance package. And then in year 2, it was like they were trying to change the offense. And there are senior members of this offense that don't want it to change because if it does change, they get phased out a little bit. Kyle Juszczyk.
They don't get the money.
George Kittle.
Yeah.
It's a different offense. Like you don't even have a fullback on the field when you're running zone read. So when he went down and Jimmy came back, what'd they say? A return to 49ers football. Return to the scheme. It's all about the scheme, and the Niners want to run a particular. The vets want to run a particular scheme. A couple vets want to run a particular scheme.
Did you see Kyle said the players knew as well? So when he said he knew and the players knew.
Yeah, it was a fait accompli. It was a fait accompli. Karan, good to see you, man. See you in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Later. Aaron Thornhill, the key lime LaCroix. You ever tried passion fruit? Yo, so I brought the key lime. I had that one, but then I had to freak it with the limoncello. You know how I do? I freaked them with the key lime joints. Then I hit them with the limoncello. With the buttercream. You feel me? The what have you? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? With my Wallies, my buttercream Wallies. You know what I'm talking about. No one knows what I'm talking about. That bitch says, Grant, sorry, but I can't stand watching the Niners anymore. I really appreciate you. Sad day. Was a Niners fan my whole life. But that's why you're that bitch. Let's go. Rome Gut Level says, question, how can an average fan hold the team accountable? Feels like the Niners don't care about fan base, out of touch. Don't go to the games. Watch the games at home. Analyze them. Talk about them on social media, sure, but don't go to the games. Don't buy their jerseys and stuff. Pissed off, Brother Bob says, try this again. 3 first plus a third and equals a fourth. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I just didn't feel like doing a math equation. Yeah, man. It's a really good outcome for the 49ers. Okay, who's up? Definitely Mr. Blue Magic because he's got a whole background. Hey, so where are you? We need to know. What street?
Grant, I know I ain't been here in a minute. I'm on Broadway and West 94.
94th? Okay. Exactly. That's what's up. Man, you gotta go to the Cornet Pizza. I think it's on Broadway and 110th. It's
109?
110th, 111th. It's over by Columbia. It's like the big motherfucker. It's so good.
I keep telling you, your pops is where I'm from. I'm just in the city because I got a little event that I'm hosting tonight. But we gonna get right to it. Number one, Kyle Delaga. That's number one.
That's what a New Yorker would say, right? That's what it is.
That's our facts. We don't sugarcoat shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's still media heads and content creators giving them a pass, like, well, they came out and they said, you ain't have no choice. Trey forced your hand. If Trey would have decided, okay, I'm gonna be the most amazing person on the face of the earth, and I'm gonna just accept
Gandhi.
this third string position,
Yeah.
none of this would have came out. The way they handled him, the fact that John said they didn't tailor
And they
anything.
thought he would. Oh, he's such a good kid. He'll never. Nah.
That's
he
what it
grew
was.
up. He grew
Trey,
up.
as soon as Kyle came out and said, I'm splitting QB2 for the year, Trey was like, oh nah, yeah, y'all can kiss my ass now. Y'all trying to y'all playing with me. Y'all playing with me. Number two, listen, Niners, we not the Cowboys. We not going to go with this irrational thoughts and all that. We start slow every year. We're undisciplined for like the first 5 to 7 games of the year. We're injury ridden. We have no kicker. Our backup line, offense and defense, is trash. It is a 10-7 year, and I'm praying it's not. But stop talking about this Super Bowl window. We're not in the Super Bowl window until we get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I love what Brock did last year. But what we also have to understand is the reason that a lot of people say, and I'm not saying that Trey was supposed to start over him. I don't believe it. I don't believe that we started Trey, Sam, or anybody that was on this roster that they would have led us to a Super Bowl. Here's the thing. Brock played very well. He fits the system very well. But we have never seen him in any adversity in the game. The defense kept us in amazing field position. CMC and Debo and Kittle, they were monsters. Now, I believe if we can do enough to get Brock to the red zone, if he doesn't have a regression as we haven't seen it yet, but Kyle's a great schemer. If he has to fight through adversity, then we will see what Brock is. Stop saying Brock is the next Baby Breeze and all that.
You got to prove it. You got to do it 3 years in a row. Prove it, man. It's 8 games doesn't make you the real deal.
Not only that, look at the pressure that is on Brock right now. Brock has just come into a situation where he hasn't been in the league technically for a full rookie season. He played half the season. So now you got this young kid. Yes, he has a lot of experience in college. So what? He's coming into a ready-made team with Super Bowl admirations, and they just got rid of a guy that they sold the farm, the village, and the neighbor's village for.
So now that pressure goes to you. Now that pressure shifts to you.
Every throw he makes, and even though Trey's not on the team, you're still going to have irrational individuals that say, "Oh, well, Trey wouldn't have made that mistake," and and then you have the Sam Darnold fans. Oh,
it's
well,
like
now
we got rid of 3 first-round picks to stick with this guy who can't even make the throw to the right side. Man, I got to take more calls. You're killing it, man. You kill it. Sorry, dude. 3-minute rule. You killed it, dude. Thank you very much.
I'll be here tomorrow.
All right, cool. I got you. Pissed off, Brother Bob says Kyle trades for a K and drafts 1 in the 3rd, but has 0. Yeah, the kicker. Remember, the QB Kyle don't want wins the Super Bowl. That is true. Who did he not want this year? All right, who is next? Zach Hernandez. What's up, dude?
What up, Grant? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing well. One thing that just makes me laugh, dude, is just how disorganized this whole situation was, right? Like, year 1, Trey is so bad that Jimmy has to be the one to start all year. And then year 2, Jimmy's so bad that they lock him out of the building and put him on the practice field, on the side field. And Trey's undisputed number 1, and Brock Purdy is number 3. I mean, he's not even close. And then year 3, Brock Purdy's so good that he's number 1. And then Trey Lance is so bad that he's worse than Sam Darnold and he's cut. Like, Kyle is so all over the place, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, the Yorks have to notice this. Like, it's got to be really disheartening when the guy you thought was like the offensive genius, it's like, man, he doesn't know the first thing about quarterbacks. This is bad. He doesn't know the first thing.
It's so bad, dude. I mean, it's so funny because I'm pretty critical of Shanahan. I'm not a big fan at all, but I see so many people still calling him the offensive guru and the quarterback whisperer, and I'm like, what has he shown you to even warrant that kind of praise? I mean, over and over again, he fails with the quarterback position. It's actually mind blowing. It's so frustrating. So
yeah, it seems like he's like the Madden champ. You know what I mean? Leak, you're freaking me out, dude. What are you doing over there? Sorry, this dude's in the waiting list, like in the waiting room, like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh,
anyway, Nah, what are we talking about? You killing me, Lee. Go away. Now I can't pay attention. Sorry, what were we talking about? The Niners?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the offensive genius.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah, man. I just feel like he's so disconnected from the humanity of the sport.
Yeah.
He's really good at the X's and O's, but I feel like a lot of coaches could dazzle you on a whiteboard. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. That
I don't know, man.
He's so he out. I don't know. I mean, obviously his ego's so huge. I mean, we know that. Kyle, I was always so big on getting Tom Brady or trading for Matthew Stafford, whatever. But obviously, if we were to get Tom Brady back when he wanted to come here, if we win the Super Bowl, what's the story? The Super Bowl is Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl. But if he picks Trey Lance and trades others for Trey Lance wins the Super Bowl or whatever, it's Kyle Shanahan. Look what he's the offensive genius. He's just so all over the place, dude. I actually can't stand him. So I think he should be on the hot seat after this year.
I think he is on the hot seat. It feels like he's on the hot seat. The way he was talking yesterday, like, here's the thing. Here's how here's how you can sense a coach is on the hot seat. When he's not on the hot seat and he's done something wrong, he comes out real aggressive and defiant and snarky and defensive. Like what? Who has something to say? Like when he lost the NFC Championship, he wasn't on the hot seat last year. He had excuses, and anyone that questioned his play call that got Purdy hurt, he like just eviscerated him publicly. Me, Jason Cole. When you're on the hot seat, when your owner's pissed at you, you can't act like that. You come out to the press conference and you got to act contrite. You got to act. It's like you're holding your hat. It's like, hey, I'm so sorry. Your tone is different. It's not what I wanted. And because it's like you wasted the York's money, man. You gave him $30 million. Those aren't your picks. Those are their picks.
Yeah.
And you threw them away.
Totally.
You weren't just wrong. You threw them away. So all of a sudden, I never heard like. I was almost a little nervous to ask questions last night. I was like, man, this guy's going to freaking do the defensive snarky thing and try to make me look bad on TV. Like, nah, dude, it was easy. That guy was submissive. And like that's a guy who's like, shit, I got to say the right thing. And he hasn't acted that way the entire time he's been here. He's acted like I can say whatever the fuck I want. Like, no, not anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to go.
Right on,
Good
man.
stuff,
Thank you. Appreciate you.
For sure. Leak, you're weird as hell, man.
You already know I had to come with that energy. I ain't gonna lie.
What's up, dog? You got 3 minutes. I won't say shit.
I got you. First of all, I'm glad Trey got an opportunity to showcase his talents. I still feel the same way that young boy is gonna be great on God. Second, it's strike 3 for Kyle. If we don't get a Super Bowl, he out of there. I don't want to hear shit about his scheme. I don't want to hear nothing about nobody. If we don't get a Super Bowl after Purdy's the real deal, get him the fuck up out of here. And I don't want to.
Not just Purdy, but you got Darnold too, man. That's exactly who you wanted to be the backup,
I'm not even
dude.
mad. And I'm not mad about the trade. I knew the trade was gonna happen. You feel me? But you trade them to our arch rivals. I could trade them in a.
How careless? How careless can you be?
Trade him somewhere where he's not gonna come back and beat our ass. Because if he plays, he knows our plays. He's just gonna. It's going right there, Makai. It's going right there, Trayvon. Just watch for it because it's coming. Because he knows the scheme. He's been in it for 3 years. You feel me? So I'm not mad about the trade. I'm happy that he got out of this situation, our fucked up franchise and how we are right now. But at the same time, like, we just giving up on talent. One, you trade away Defoe for Kinlaw. That's strike 1. 2, you trade away the whole goddamn farm to go get Trey and then give up on him because he was too intimidating and it affected Kyle's ego. I got you. It affected Kyle's ego. He couldn't even handle it. It's too much for a nigga because it's too much for him because he couldn't take that. You feel me? So I'm just like, what's the point? What's the point at this? Like, if Purdy goes down, our season's over. I don't want to hear shit about Darnold and what Darnold. Oh my God, his amazing arm talent. And no, he's trash, and he's proven it on 2 separate teams. He's fucking trash. And I said it before the season even started. He's trash, and we finna depend everything on him. It's just like, it's ridiculous, bro. And I sat up here. I'm not gonna lie, I was mad. I'm like, we really got rid of Trey for a 4th round pick that we're gonna swing and miss on anyway.
Yep.
I just don't. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. It's hard to follow these cats. Cause like you said, the whole Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, they got a little click and they made their little post after Brandon Ayuk and all them made their posts. So they didn't make it seem like it was a shift in the locker room. But I know we're back to 49er football. Yeah, you're back to losing in the biggest games of your life because you can't finish the fucking job. I'm tired of this team. Word 2, they can't finish nothing. And then they want to, but we're so unlucky. We're this, we're that. No, you just aren't good enough.
Right.
Only
And you
people
haven't
that's
been
good enough that's been dragging was the defense, and that's because of Fred. Fred's been rallying them cats. But if anybody go down that defense, anybody going on that O-line or anything like that, we're chalked. I ain't gonna lie. 9-8. 9-8, maybe even 8-9. I ain't gonna lie. Because we're one wrong hit on Purdy away from losing our season.
Dude, hey, when he tripped over Jordan Mason yesterday, did your heart sink a little bit? I mean, come on.
My heart dropped. When he ran for the touchdown, I was like, Purdy, please don't get hit. Oh, my God,
dude,
please don't get hit. It's preseason.
Yeah.
Please don't get hit.
Leak, I got to keep it moving, man. You're doing great, though. You're doing great, man. Love to see you, man. Have a good one. Sorry I got to do that, but I'm strict today. Let me in the stream. All right, man. I'm going to let you in the stream for sure. But I got to get Amin the Dream in first, and then I'm going to let Ben. Hey, Amin, you ready? If you ready, turn your... Hey, let's go. Yes! I haven't seen you in a heck of long, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, man. It's the same kid. What's up? It seems like you got like you probably could have a mustache now, but you probably like shaved it this morning.
Nah,
5 minutes ago.
Nah.
I like the haircut though, man. What's up?
All right, let me hit you with it real quick, cause
go for it.
I haven't gotten an opportunity to talk about the situation yet, but let me hit you with it real quick.
Hit me.
See, my issue with this whole Trey Lance situation is obviously it was inevitable after a couple of days ago that he was going to get moved off of. It was inevitable. Right. Even if whatever John Lynch was saying that no, most likely he'll be on the team. Like no, most likely he requested a trade, which Schefter came out and said. And because he requested a trade, the Niners had to leak out and say Sam Darnold is your quarterback number 2. And then, obviously ended up getting traded to Dallas. My issue with the whole situation is there's people that are saying that Trey Lance is a bust, right? When in reality, I don't necessarily think it's the player. I think it's just the pick in general. Because if you look at it, going back to that draft, 2021, right? The Niners had the 12th overall pick. You could have drafted Micah Parsons. And everybody who was speculating that the Niners were going to go and get Mac Jones was there at 12 also, right? So you didn't really have to give up all those picks if you wanted
And
Mac
if they had
Jones.
taken Mac Jones at 12, no one would be mad about that.
Yeah, nobody would be mad
about
that. But when you give up those 3 first-round picks and you move up to 3, now there's only 2 guys that you realistically can draft, which is Justin Fields and Trey Lance. Now, the Niners went out and said, we're going to get Trey Lance. Even if you didn't draft Trey Lance, right? Because you look at Justin Fields, and everybody's talking about Justin Fields. If the Niners drafted Justin Fields most likely would be in the same predicament that Trey Lance is in. Because if you really look at it and you watch Justin Fields play, he makes the same mistakes as Trey Lance does, right? He's more athletic.
Doesn't get the ball out quick enough.
Right? He's more
play on time,
gifted, I would say. But he misses the short stuff, right? Everybody complains. Like you watch Justin Fields last year, there would be guys wide open. He would sail it over their heads, kind of like what Trey Lance kind of did sometimes last year and what everybody kind of talks about with Trey Lance. So regardless of which quarterback, both quarterbacks wouldn't have worked out for the Niners because both quarterbacks would be criticized and both quarterbacks would most likely be in the same predicament, whether that might be Trey Lance or Justin Fields.
So the mistake was trading up to 3. Once they did that, there was no right answer.
Trading up to 3.
There was no right answer.
Yeah, there's no right answer, right? What you should have been using.
Because you made the quarterback even more expensive. You could have had Mac Jones at a reasonable price, and no one would have been mad. Yeah.
But even with those picks, right? If you had those picks, what you realistically should have done was you should have got out and went and got a Matthew Stafford or a quarterback that you could win now with, right?
You can't trade 3 first-round picks for a college player unless he's Trevor Lawrence.
Right, like you can't use those picks for a guy, especially if you're a quote-unquote win-now team. And that's where the issue is, right?
Yeah.
The Niners went out and used those picks, and they bought a Lamborghini, right? They bought a Lamborghini, but you have to learn how to drive the Lamborghini first.
And they didn't put the time in.
They didn't put the time in, and you don't even have the time to drive the Lamborghini because you have to win, and you're a win-now team. So what the Niners really should have done was use those picks and go out and get a veteran or someone that you could win with now. The difference with the Anthony Richardson situation, let me finish this real quick.
All right, but then you gotta go.
Anthony Richardson, the difference with that situation is the Colts went out and got Anthony Richardson, but that team is not a good team. So you could develop him, and he could suck, and he could play all 17 games, and nobody would care.
So that means the Niners' original sin was in 2017 when they didn't take the quarterback. This is what happens when you try to build a team before you get the quarterback. You're too good. We don't have time. We can't. Okay, man, well, then enjoy that game manager you got. I mean, it's great to see you, dude.
Nice to see you too, man.
All right, man, I got to do these more often. I figured like you didn't like me anymore, but I think I just haven't been doing these. All right, man, good to see you. Peace, man. Benjamin, I know I got to get back to you. I got to go on your channel this week. I haven't forgotten.
No, you're good. You're good. Is my audio?
Yeah, man, you're super professional, dude. Cool. Look at you.
Thank you. Well, I'll keep this quick because you have callers, but I was going to put a different spin on it. So we know that Jed York is all about the fans. And when, things were going stale, you said this yesterday. And by the way, I still watch you all the time because I think a lot of your takes are real. But when you said yesterday, the Jim Harbaugh thing, the situation with Jim Harbaugh was going stale, and that's why they had to move on from Jim Harbaugh, right? So we can agree that Jed York is all about the fans, and if the fans aren't happy, he's going to try to make them happy, right? Because that's good for money. That's good for his pocket. So my thing is he knows the fans aren't happy about Trey Lance right now, so he's going to give, obviously we know that, Kyle a year. And obviously, if he doesn't go to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, that's a lot of pressure to put on Kyle's shoulders. And when Kyle's under pressure, he performs. So I think this could be a year where Kyle, if Brock Purdy does end up working out, could be a good year for Kyle, because he tends to, when he has a fire lit under his, I guess I'm not going to cuss, but when he has fire lit, he tends to perform. A year ago or 2 years ago, they were 3-5. The owner, whatever his name was, goes to the practice, and all of a sudden they start winning again. My second thing is if Kyle does get fired, Jed York is going to bring in, because the biggest knock on Kyle is that he can't develop quarterbacks. Jed York is going to bring in somebody that can develop a quarterback, and that guy is Lincoln Riley. I just think that the 49ers are a sleeper team to get Lincoln Riley from USC if he's willing to come to the NFL, because the 49ers need to learn from their mistakes, and that would be the coach that I would go after. So those are my 2 points, but yeah.
I love it. Good stuff, man. I'll see you this week.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
See ya.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Papa Nate says, why don't the Yorks hold Kyle and John's feet to the fire like they did with Harbaugh? Your dad was spot on. Eddie D would have fired their asses. Because I feel like that was Jed who was going head-to-head with Harbaugh, and it was like a young man's folly. Jed, it was like pride and ego. And I don't think Jed's in control of that team anymore. I think it's his parents. I think they hired the Shanahans. I think they're very hands-off, and I don't think they want to do more searching and hiring and firing. That's the way I look at it. I could be wrong. Jaleel D, where's the link? It's linked. It's pinned to the top of the chat. When Sam throws 3 picks, chant fire Kyle at Levi's. I can see Steelers winning week 1. Brock has to do it for 3 years, yet you had vindicated Trey over one drive in a preseason game against the third team. Vindicated, ha, 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 clown. Jesus Velez says, what if Trey went home on Wednesday because they told him that he's being sent to the Cowboys, not even being told he's QB3? What if? I don't think that's what happened, though. Pissed off, Brother Bob says, picking up my corgi at Groomers and still pissed at Kyle Shanahan. Sven says, week 5 is going to be real interesting when Dak is out and Trey has a chance to start at Levi. Hoo-wee. Niners Daddy says, Kyle really picked Darnold over Trey. Fire Kyle. Zay, member. KRWN, member. Andrew, reminds me of a quote by Caesar, it's only hubris if I fail. Lots of failure and plenty of hubris. Zay, $2. Thank you very much. All right. Mark.
Hey, what's
how you
happening?
doing?
Good. I'll be quick. I have one quick question, but listening to everybody just sparks more thoughts in my head. First of all, Kyle's worst nightmare was that Darnold couldn't pull away from Lance.
Yep.
In training camp. That's his huge nightmare. There's no way Darnold signed with this team to be in competition for second or third. He came in as a second. He knows he has an opportunity to play once if a quarterback goes down ahead of him, and that's what happened. And that's where Kyle's been the most disingenuous, right there. By the way, real quick too, as far as Trey going to the Cowboys and offering information on how 49ers run things. I mean, Dan Quinn already knows how Kyle runs things, and he held him to 19 points last year.
Good point.
That's not even an issue. Okay, here's my question. Bosa. Now, I've been following you on this, and I've agreed with you along the way. But at this point, while they really would have rather had Bosa in at the beginning of training camp, at this point, he's on the reserve did not report list. He doesn't count against the 53 going into Tuesday. Might they, at this point, even if they had a deal, think, we'll sign you on Wednesday, but we're going to try to make the roster spot happen, add another person to the roster that they want to keep. What do you think?
I hadn't thought about that, the roster dynamics. I mean, but when they sign him, eventually they have to give him that roster spot. Yeah,
true. But then it's harder to pick people up. You see, they could even sign him Thursday or Friday.
That's a good point. They could sort of protect someone for a few days.
I mean, it doesn't
while other teams set their roster.
And I think Bose would be in on that too. I think that if they work that out, why would he care? As long as he knows he's getting his contract.
As long as he signs the contract like 2 minutes before kickoff week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So maybe that's the deadline. It's a deadline business, and that's essentially the deadline, right? So let's see if things get done then.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, Mark. Thank you very much. Who's been waiting a long time? Josh has been waiting a long time. What's up, dog?
How's it going? How you doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, I almost dropped my phone. Pretty good.
Scared me with that blanket and all that. Okay, you're good.
My bad. I'm just chilling, watching football.
All right, for sure.
So like I came here to like hate watch, and I was gonna come on here to be negative, but I've just seen so much negativity. It's time to bring a little positivity. You know what I mean?
Like it. I like it.
So there's 2 ways this works, and 2 are actually they could be likely. So the first way is Brock Purdy pans out, and he turns out to be what the Niners think he is, and what I believe he is. I actually do believe he'll turn out to be a great quarterback. Whether he gets hurt or not, that's out of my hand. That's out, But and B is if it doesn't work out and it turns out to be like a straight up disaster, then the Niners, I think they will have no choice but to go back, just erase the board, and say, hey, like we have messed up. We've got a quarterback that played 17 games in college, or it was 17, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
A quarterback that played 8 regular season games, and then a quarterback that played 2 games for the Patriots,
right.
And so they've seemed to go into the quarterback situation with a blindfold on. And I really think that they'll have no choice but to I know they've had plenty of opportunities, but I think this will be their last opportunity before they really go for someone like a Matt Stafford. I'm not saying Matt Stafford, but someone like him, someone that would be good if they were on a better team. And
but
that's
Josh, not to cut you off, but it was crazy. Is the way they've been selling the whole Purdy thing all offseason, and the Lance thing is like, we really, really want a quarterback on a rookie deal because we're more concerned with keeping this amazing team together than cultivating one special quarterback. Like that's been their attitude the whole time. So if they were to fail that way this year and pivot and be like, you know what, we actually want to give Kirk Cousins a fully guaranteed contract, be like, man, what the fuck do you really want to do? Like, what is your philosophy at quarterback? Is it just anything? Right. Sorry, I got negative. Right. You're trying to be positive. Go, Josh.
No. I'm with you, man. And I'm saying completely erase the chalkboard.
Sure.
I'm talking just totally change everything, the whole philosophy of the team, because this is their last straw. If the Purdy thing doesn't work out, this is legit their last straw. Whether they like it or not, whether they're going to admit it or not, they're going to know deep down that they have to make a lot of changes. So yeah, that's about it, man.
Thanks, Josh. Good call. I appreciate the brevity.
Thank you so much.
You guys are doing a great job with the rhythm today. I appreciate it. Is Bosa really going to sign before Jones? Doubt it. Yeah, I agree with that. Is Bosa going to sign before Jones? Doubt it. Yeah, I agree with that. Keith Murphy is just chilling. How you doing?
What's up, big dog? How are you?
What's up, big dog? I'm chilling. What's up?
First, I'm with your last caller. It's too much negativity going on for a team that's had the level of success that we've had the last 5 or 6 years. Okay. Granted, we've done everything but close the deal, but I guess I've been watching this team since the 80s. I remember Jim Tomsula. I remember Chip Kelly. I would rather be in this era right now than back in those eras. So, what did it take for Andy Reid to get fired? Because I'm kind of comparing Kyle's time here.
I don't think they ever fired him. I think they just let his contract expire, if I remember correctly.
Well, I think whatever. The last year that he was there, he went 4-12. That's how far he had to fall for them to fire him. So until Shanahan does that, fall on his face per se, I don't think people should be calling for his job after what we've been doing the last 5 or 6 years.
The year before that, though, he was 8-8. So it could. I mean, all it takes is one losing year. All it takes is one losing year.
I agree with that. And that 2020 year, although we've been injured, that was a crazy injury year. I feel like that was the year Bosa went down early. I think the whole team was hurt that year. And to still go 8-8, it could 100%, because that's what been Kyle's thing since he's been here. Now, what I will say is I do think we need to see more from Brock, but you don't always need to see 50 games of somebody. When did we start hearing Patrick Mahomes was a good quarterback? in practice. In practice, the year before he even started. So, and we actually have game film on Brock, right? Almost half a season. And so I don't know why people are down. And he didn't just fill in; he led the league in passer rating while he was out there. And people say he hasn't seen adversity. That Raiders game was back and forth. That defense did not show up that Raiders game. I think they gave up 35 points to Jarrett Stidham or whoever that was. And Brock answered every single drive. Clutch. You know? And so I do understand your points on Kyle, though, because Andy Reid didn't trade 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to move up in the draft. But through that, and he's bailing, to your point, him and Lynch are bailing themselves out of fires that they start.
Yeah. Yeah, and getting praised for it. Getting praised. Look at him set out that fire that they started. Keith, I got to take one more call.
Yes, one more thing. I find it amazing that you can hit on all these 5th and 6th round picks and can't pick the first round. I don't count Bosa. Everybody would pick Bosa number 2.
Well, maybe it's because Kyle Shanahan needs to stop trying to pick players and let the scouting department do their job.
Good point. Well, he let the scouting department do his job on Purdy. Before I go, John Lynch just did, the Pivot podcast. He just did an interview and he talked about who gets credit for Purdy. You can kind of look that up, but he very much it's the coach Brian Greasy, who a lot of people were skeptical of, was the one that really wanted Purdy the most.
Cool. I'll check it out. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, man. All right, man.
All right. Mike V.
What's going on, Grant? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. Man, this is going to be a crazy year. I'm starting to think about a couple months ago, I thought we were going to be, easy NFC West champions. But, man, after letting K1 go, they let DJ Williams go, and then they start bringing in these guys that they think are going to be their replacements. These guys aren't going to – Minihue just left. Who's the other guy? Ebukam. Willis, the guy made a good play and played. No, not Willis, not Patrick Willis. The other guy, 94. You know who I'm talking about? D lineman. They just let him go from the Jets. No. Willis.
Jordan Willis. Sorry, my bad.
Hey, the guy played good. He made that.
I like
got that
Jordan
crazy
Willis. He's on the Raiders now. You're right.
Yeah. But dude, these guys are proven talent. They've played good, and they let him go. They won't give him money, but then they'll bring in somebody that's unproven. Cleveland Farrell is a bust. You know what I mean? He's played good in the preseason. Don't get me wrong. Carlton Taco, bust. But these guys will come in and get you 5 to 10 stacks coming off the bench, and you're going to get rid of these guys. Then you bring in Isaiah Oliver. This guy is getting torched by 3rd, 4th rounders in their rookie season. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's coming off of ACL, but you let go of K1, let go of Jimmy Ward to think that this guy is going to come in and fill those shoes. You know what I mean? So honestly, from being number 1 defense, we're honestly in 15 to 20 right now, because the way that they're thinking that they just plug and play, that might be for the offense with the quarterback, but that defense isn't plug and play. You know what I mean? And then you can even tell from the style of defense that Steve Wilks runs. So D'Amico Ryans to Salah, it's night and day. It's night and day. You know what I mean? So they're going to have a hard time on defense. So we got to hope that Purdy could score 33 to 38 points a game, because if not, this Niners defense isn't going to be a 21-point defense. You know what I mean? We're not going to be like that no more. I could already see it. And I see where the faults are with the team, and I'm curious to what you think.
Mike, I got to take one more call, but I'm with you on that. This defense is a little bit scary this year. They can't even stop the run. Mike, good call. Thank you. Who's going to tell him K1 hasn't been on the team for a while? Who's going to I can only take one more call. I'm sorry, but I'm going to do this again tomorrow. So if I didn't get you today, I promise I'll get you tomorrow.
What's happening, dog?
What's up, dog? How you doing?
Man, I'm cool. I'm gonna be real though. So we gotta give Kyle Shanahan and the front office a little bit of props. And the reason why I say it is they sent him to a situation where they don't know if they're gonna keep Dak Prescott next year. So he has a year to learn this offense. And if Dak isn't there, he instantly is between him and Cooper Rush if they don't get a first round to get Caleb. So they did set him up to kind of win in a way. Two, they sent him to a team with a good line. So like they have good skill players, but I think the Niners skill players are better. But I think CD is a better receiver than the likes of Debo, just off of route running. But they also set him up to be with a good line and a Hall of Fame. I say Hall of Fame play caller, which would be their head coach. So I think they set
At least
him
a
up
Super Bowl winning play caller.
Yeah, definitely was.
Yeah.
So they set him up to be in a similar situation, and they didn't set him up to fail. They could have sent him. And after that preseason game, I have a cousin on the team. I'm not going to say no names because I don't want nothing I say to fall back. But
For sure.
After that preseason game, it was a lot of hype in the league off of some of those throws that he put on tape. Like it's a few throws. The one what was it? I think it was a crosser going to Willie Snead, tight window on the body.
Yep.
So I mean, it made a lot of people like kind of look like, ooh, wait, hold on, I see the talent that he could have. So I think you have to give them a pat on the back for helping him out in that way, because they really could have screwed him over and sent him somewhere like the Buccaneers, and that would have been horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like they could have sent him somewhere where they would have thrown him in the fire and he would have struggled. Instead, they sent him to a good organization where they can be patient and he can actually play well at some point.
So point. I mean, to their point, they do really love him as a person, and you could tell that by the way that they took care of him, in the sense of them sending him to a situation where he could thrive. Personally, I would have wanted him to go into like the Broncos or waited towards the middle of the season to see if Miami would have needed a quarterback, and he could have went somewhere where he
could play
on film, like elite play caller that we've seen recently. But this is still a good situation nonetheless. The other thing is, I kind of feel like these are there's a little bit of a Nick Bosa situation. I feel like they needed money on the back end next year, and I kind of feel like Nick Bosa was kind of running their pockets just a little bit to where they was like, hold on, we might need just a little bit more cap space to go and wiggle and play with him, and that might have been part of the reason, and it kind of scares me, because it's like, well, if he isn't signed yet, are we going to have him by the week one? And if he comes back by week one, is he going to be up and running and ready to do what he has to do by week one? Because it's a flow game, so you have to be in flow.
So you're saying part of the reason the Niners traded Trey Lance is because they couldn't necessarily afford him next year with Bosa on the books?
It's not even just him. Like it's a lot of people that are coming down the pipe. Like next year is going to be I haven't even looked at it. Next year is going to be a few people that they're going to need some cap space to make sure that they can make something shape. Right. And to have him as your second string, which I don't think he was a third, but your second string, your third string, and to be making, I think what they said was like around 7 on the cap firm next year or something like that.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of money just to have a young guy, just sitting around. So I think that's part of the reason why he was gone. But my biggest issue with this, and I don't think people were really looking at this from like the grand scale of things, is if it doesn't work with Brock Purdy, and if Kirk Cousins doesn't come here next year, Brock Purdy doesn't succeed and get us to the playoffs or whatever the case may be, all what ifs, what young quarterback and what agent is going to want to come here after seeing what happened to a person you traded 3 first-round picks to go?
Who wants to be the next Trey Lance? Who wants to be the next Trey Lance?
Come to this situation. Personally, I wouldn't want to come to a situation where I just seen you mortgage your future, which, I mean, they're all late round picks. But in hindsight, we know that they're all late round. But I seen you mortgage your future, and I didn't get to see you fully develop a kid. And then y'all get ready to move off of him, and the news comes out that last year they were ready to ship him off. So how do you convince these younger quarterbacks to come to your
best interest at heart? We'll take care of you.
Like, for instance, let's say a Joe Burrow just comes out. I think Caleb Williams is going to be good. I don't think we're going to be able to draft him that low. But let's just say somebody with a Joe Burrow-esque ability comes into the draft 2-3 years from now. These quarterbacks nowadays, Eli did it, but these quarterbacks nowadays are more business savvy, more social savvy, so they understand things at a higher level. So now they're going to look at this like, oh, wait, hold on. I kind of got the leverage. I can just tell them I'm not going to sign. They can pick me up if they want to, but I don't have to play for them if I don't want to. So you kind of mess up what you could do later down the road if your quarterback situation doesn't succeed this year.
That's right.
Which segues into the next thing that I wanted to say was, like, I also feel like the front office did Brock no justice, because now you kind of put him in with the fans too. You put him in a role where it's like, we have to win the Super Bowl, or they said Super Bowl or bust year. So it's like you have to win the Super Bowl with him, with a worse line, with more commotion around him, with more distractions. Which I mean, Trey was, so they got him out of here. But it hurts him this year, because let's say he has a 2-game stretch where he's just looking horrible. You still have Sam breathing behind his back because y'all think high on Sam. So I mean, it's just like y'all put so much unfair pressure on
all your quarterbacks, all of the quarterbacks. They
and
always
he's only
do it.
23. He's second year playing. This is going. Week 1 will be his 8th game in the league.
Yep.
So it's like, bro, you guys put so much pressure on this kid to win a Super Bowl in his 8th start, in his second. Well, it would be his second full year starting, or first full year starting. Like, that's a lot of pressure to put on the kid. Yes, you can scheme things open. We're always top 5 when it comes to wide open throws in the league, but you guys are really hurting this kid, because now he's going to, if the pressure comes on, he's going to have to play perfect and spot on, and he's not going to be allowed to make a gang of mistakes, especially early in the season, because this is a brand new defense. It takes time to learn it. It takes time to understand your coverages, your assignments. You know, like, I don't know. You put in franchise quarterback expectations on somebody who's still very, very fresh to the league, and that's unfair.
And the Niners don't realize it. Good call, man. Thanks for calling in. That was great.
Always,
good stuff, dude. Appreciate you. Take care. All right, that's the show, guys. I'm gonna take a couple more super chats, and then I'm done. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Chip and Tom doesn't have a roster like this. Stop. Yeah. Rick H says Niners will win the Super Bowl if no starters get injured ever. Double B Studio says, I disagree with the notion fans think drafting Mahomes, etc. would have brought us a Lombardi when Kyle only can coach proven quarterback. Good point. Noel Man says, thank you for keeping it real, Grant. If Trey Lance flourished in Dallas, somebody needs to get fired. Agree. Double B Studio says, Jerry Joe scouted Lance and saw the talent. Yeah, I think he did. Worst case, Trey beats Brock in the playoffs. Kyle is a coward. I have nothing but ill feelings for that man. Ooh. And Shanny gonna get Purdy hurt. Should have kept Trey 5. Guys, goodbye. I'm out of here. See you tomorrow.